So, good evening, everyone. So we'll be starting this session shortly. So let's allow give for a few more minutes so that everyone can join this session. Am I audible? Can anyone just confirm in the chat box? So am I audible? Can anyone confirm? Great. Is my screen visible? Fine. So I'm Rupesh Kumar, and this is a problem solving session for the NPTEL course on problem solving through programming in C. And this is the session for the third week. In this session, we will be solving few problems on operators in C and then conditionals in conditional statements in C. So it's already 6:02. So we may wait for two more minutes so that everyone can join, and then we'll start the session. So I want to inform every one of you that the meeting is being recorded and the recording will be shared with you all after this session so that you can go through the session, problem solved during this session again. And if you have any queries, you can ask during the session itself in the chat box. I will be trying to help you solve all the problems. So I guess we can start. So in the meeting, I guess total there are 24 students right now, 23. So we may start. So I guess I'm getting questions right now. So, sir, when I'm running a program using pre-increment or pre and post and for a loop, why the results are same? So yeah, we will see these problems during the session. So let's first start with some basic problems, and then yeah. So let's get started. So this is a session on problem solving session for the week 3 on the course problem solving through programming in C. And this is an NPTEL course. I'm Rupesh Kumar. I'm a PMRE fellow, and I'm going to help you out to solve the problems based on the topics that are covered in this week. I hope you enjoy this session and feel free to ask questions in the chat box. So this session will go something sort of this. So I have prepared some set of questions from my side, and these I will solve these problems questions with you all guys for the first 1.5 hours of this session. This is a 2-hour session, so first 1.5 hours will be the session in which I will be solving the problems. And in the remaining half an hour, you can ask miscellaneous questions based on the topics that were discussed during this week. Fine. So today is 9th February 2024, and these sessions are being held every week, Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. So let's get started. So this is the first question. So is the text visible to every one of you? If it's not, kindly raise your hand so that I can like zoom in more. Can anyone confirm that the font size is fine and the text is visible to every one of you? So I'm not. Am I audible? I'm not getting any responses from you guys in the chat box. Yeah, great. I am audible and the screen is also visible and the font size is also fine for you. Great. So I'm assuming that everything is fine and you are also able to follow everything that I'm going to show on my screen. So let's get started with the problems. So first question is, which of the following is statements is correct? So four options are given us to us, and we have to read these options and identify whether which of the following options are correct or not. Let's get started. So option A, operator precedent determines which operator is performed first in an expression with more than one operator with different precedents. Associativity rule is used when two operators of same precedence appear in an expression. So this statement looks correct. So because operator precedent determines which operator is performed first in an expression, when there are more than one operators with different or with different precedent in the statement, and whereas associativity is used when two operators of the same precedence uh, uh, appear in an expression. So yeah, this statement is correct. So you might be familiar with the Bodmas rule that you studied during your, in your primary classes. So it says whenever in an mathematical expression you find out some mathematical operations, the order in which these operations are to be executed is first solve the brackets and then do the off operation and then the divide, multiply, followed by addition and subtraction. So in computer programming, in C programming, the operator precedence is defined, and it determines whether in a statement, if we obtain multiple arithmetic operators, which operator has to come first. So yeah, operator precedent decides that. And suppose if there are some operators that are having the same precedence, then in that case, we follow the associativity for that particular precedence level. So for example, multiplication, division, and modulo operator have higher precedence than the uh, than addition and subtraction operation. So if we find a statement that involves addition, multiplication, and subtraction, we first perform multiplication, then we perform addition or subtraction based on the associativity. The addition and subtraction operators are left associative, so we go from left to the right. So the correct answer is option A. Uh, operator precedence determines the order of, of execution of the order of evaluation of the operators, and us and associativity is used when multiple operators with same precedence occur in the same line, in the same expression. So yeah, this is the correct answer. Fine. So let's go to the next question. So it says find the output of the following C code. So as usual, it starts with the hashtag include line that tells the direct compiler that we have to import the functions and libraries defined in the file stdio.h. It is the standard input library for the C programming language. Then we define the main function that is required by any C program, and the compiler usually finds this, checks whether this function is defined or not, and then executes the statements present in this function. And in the first line, we can say it says int a equals to 50, b equals to 20. So we are basically declaring and initializing the values to the variables in the same line. So we can do that in C. So that's why we are able to do this. So we are assigning the value of 50 to the variable a using the assignment operator that is equals to. Similarly, we are assigning the value of 20 to b and 6 to c and 3 to d. And we are declaring a variable result. Now we are computing the value of result. So it's given by results equals to a plus a multiplied by unary minus b divided by c modulo d plus c into d. So let us go ahead and write this statement expression and try to solve it using the operator precedence rule. So let's solve this problem. So yeah, this is the statement. So we know from the operator precedence table that the unary minus comes first. So maybe I can write down the reference table. Operator precedence for this expression. That's for this expression. So basically we have unary minus, then multiplication, division, and modulo. And then we have addition. Yeah, so these three operators are present in this expression. So we all know, so the first preference is unary minus as the first operator precedence, among all these all these operators. So first we will do the that operation. So basically the expression will become a plus a. So let's go ahead and put in the values also so that we can solve this problem. So a is 50. So it says 50 plus 50 multiplied by minus p, so b is 20, divided by c, so c is 6, and then we modulo d, so d is basically 3 plus c again, so c is 6 multiplied by d, which is 3. So I've written the values correctly. So this is the expression that we are trying to evaluate. So let's go ahead and use the precedence table. So we also know that the plus modulo and multiplication, division, and modulo operator have left associativity. So associativity. So this means if these operators come in the same expression, the operator on the left hand side has to be evaluated first. So let's go ahead and use this precedent table to solve this problem. So the the first precedence is unary negative. So first we'll do that operation. So we will be using the brackets to denote the hierarchy of precedence. So the first wherever there is a bracket, it means that it has to be evaluated first. So let's go ahead and do this. So minus 20 means we are basically assigning the value of minus 20 to the unary. So it's a unary negative to the 20, and then we divide by 6 modulo 3 plus 6 into 3. Now the next precedence is given to the multiplication, division, or modulo with the left associativity, and the leftmost is 50 multiplied by minus 20. So the statement becomes 50 plus. So again, we will put in the bracket to denote that it has to be evaluated first, minus 20, and then we divided by 6 modulo 3 plus 6 into 3. So yeah, this is the statement. So let's go ahead and do the operation. So basically 50 plus 50 minus into minus 20 is 50 minus 1000, and then divided by 6 modulo 3 plus 6 into 3. So this is the expression. Now again, we use the associativity rule here. So division and modulo and multiplication has to be done before addition and subtraction. And here we know they use left associativity. So this expression will be evaluated first. Since we know that all the variables A, B, C, and D are of type uh, integer. So here integer arithmetic will be going on. So we will basically do integer arithmetic. So it will only return the division operator will return the quotient of this division, and you all know the quotient is 166. And then the next we rewrite the remaining expression. So 166 modulo 3 plus 6 multiplied by 3. Again, we define the precedence, and since modulo comes on the left hand side of the multiplication, it is evaluated first. Then we again solve this. So 166 modulo 3 returns the remainder of this division, and the remainder will be so basically 1 3 5 are 15, 1 6 3 are 15. The remainder is 1, so it will be 50 minus 1 plus 6 into 3. So now according to the operator precedence, the multiplication operator has to be evaluated first. So we first evaluate this. Then the answer becomes 50 minus 1 plus 6 into 3, that is 18. So it becomes now here we can see we have no other operators than plus and minus, addition and subtraction, and we know that they have the same operator precedence. So we will and use left associativity. So we first perform the operation on the left hand side, that the operator that is present on the left, that is negative, minus operation, subtraction. So it becomes 49 plus 18. The final value is 49 plus 18 is 67. So the correct answer is option A, 67. Option A, 67. So yeah, this is how this expression is being evaluated by the C compiler. So anyone of you have any questions regarding this operator precedence? So you may ask in the chat box, or maybe we can proceed. So yeah, one of the student have answered also 67, so it's the correct answer. So I guess the solution is clear to you all. So now we can proceed with the next question. So yeah, the question number 3 says, what will be the output of this following program? So it again starts with the include statement and includes the standard IO libraries. Then in the int main function, we see an if statement followed by some commands. So we all know what the if statement is. It's basically a conditional operator. So let me give some quick overview of the if statement, if and else statements. So let's go ahead and solve this problem. If and else statements are conditionals in C. So the expressions defined in the scope of if followed by a condition are executed if the condition is true, if it is a boolean, or one if it is integer variable. So yeah, so there are so if the condition can be either true, and true corresponds to an integral value of 1. If it is false, if the condition is false, the else part is executed. Fine. So this is how if statements work. So again, here we are using some some operators. So we are seeing logical and, that is denoted by two ampersands, and then logical or operator, that is two straight bars. So let me go ahead and define this. So logical and operator. So this is denoted by double ampersand. Logical or operator. So this is basically denoted by these. So what it does, it returns true if both the operands are true. So basically, if I say so yeah, this is the logical AND operator, and then operator OR returns true if any of the two operands are true. Else they return false. So this is what the logical and logical OR operators do in C programming language. And then in the if statement, we can see it says -10 and -10. So when we talk about operators that involve employ Boolean variables, so yeah, let me define this for you also. So what are Boolean operators? Boolean data type. So it can contain two values, true or false, that correspond to 0 and basically 1 and 0 in integer. 1 and 0 integral values. So 1 means true, and that correspond to 1 and 0 integer values. So what happens to other integer values? What if the values are other than 1 and 0? In that case, if the integer values are other than 1 and not 0, then also the data, the variable denotes true, whereas it is false, whereas it is false only for 0. So yeah, if say we have a value 111 that corresponds to true, minus 111 also corresponds to true, 0 always corresponds to false. So this is what will help us to solve this problem. So make sure there are two values that a Boolean data type can contain, true or false, and conditionals always work on these values. So if the condition is true, the statement is executed. If it's false, then another statement is executed. So sometimes you will be given the Boolean operator. So if a Boolean operator is the if and followed by a Boolean operator in the condition, sometimes you will be given integral values such as 1 and 0. And some if we use another values apart from 0 and 1. So yeah, sorry, there was a call. So yeah, let's start the session. So apologies for the interruption. So I got a call from someone, so I had to disconnect it. Yeah. So again, where were we? We were looking for the conditions that are used in these conditional operators, such as if, and else. So if the condition can be either true or false, if it's a Boolean data type, if we are using integer data type to denote the condition, then a value of 0 means that the condition is false. The if statement has not to be executed. The statements under the scope of the if statement have not to be executed. If it has any other value other than 0, then means the condition is true. So let's go ahead and solve this problem. So it says if minus 10 and 10, so these both of these corresponds to true. So the result of this operator operation, this double and ampersand logical and operation will return true. So it says basically true, followed by or, and then again another true. But since there is a or operator, any one of these operands is true, then the result is true. So basically it is true, then it will print the statement condition is true. So the correct answer is option A. The correct answer is option A. Condition is true. So this is how how the output for this problem will look like, and it will print A. The condition is true. So I hope you are familiar now clear with how the conditional operators, the if operator, and the logical and or operators. So if you have any questions, just ask the questions in the comment box, in the chat box. So I don't see any messages from you guys. So I hope the answer is clear to you. So yeah, let's continue. Um, so let's move on to the next question. Mm, so the next question is, what is the output of the following program? Hmm. So let's start. It again starts with the include statement and includes the standard IO libraries, and then the main function is defined. So now here we can see the first line says int I. So we are declaring a variable of a data type I, and we are not giving any value to this variable. So this is basically allowed in C. So there is no it's the correct statement. Then we see the conditional operator that says if I equals to 0, 2, 3, then do something, basically print something else, and then we have to print some extra values and then return 0. So let's go ahead and parse this problem, this code, and see what it returns, what it prints on the screen. So we are using the standard printf statement that prints on the screen. So it prints the values on the standard output device, that is the screen by default. And you also have studied learned about the scanf statement that basically reads in the input from the standard input device, that is keyboard, that is the computer keyboard by default. So I guess I saw some messages from you guys. So yeah, so I am getting questions from students that say, please repeat Boolean data type again. And I have to repeat the question number 3 again. So yeah, so what I was saying that, so Boolean data type is basically a data type used that can contain two values, true or false. Now, They are similar to English. True means the statement is correct. So basically I can write it here. The statement is correct. And then false corresponds to the condition where the statement is incorrect. Fine. So this is how these values, these are the values that these condition, these are the two values that the Boolean data type can take. They corresponds to the integral values of 0 and 1. So true also means 1 and false means 0. But there are cases. So basically the C compiler also allows other values other than 1 and 0. So in such other integer values other than 1 and 0, if there is a value that is not 0, if you find a value other than 0, then it corresponds to true. If the value integer value is 0, then it hello. Someone is saying my audio is no voice is not audible. Can anyone confirm if I'm audible or not? So hello, am I audible? So yeah, so yeah, Gaurav is saying that my audio is clear, but someone in Piyush is saying I'm not audible. So Pawan, can you say am I audible or not? So yeah, everyone is now on the same page. So am I audible? So we should continue with this again. So what I was explaining here is uh, that basically we are talking about the Boolean operators in C. So Boolean can contain two values: true if the statement is true, correct, and false if the statement is incorrect. They also correspond to the integral values. So if the integer value is 0, then it means the condition is false. The Boolean operator will variable will have the value false. So the statement is incorrect. But if it has any other integer value other than 0, then it corresponds to the condition true. The statement is true. So suppose our statement says if 110, this means if true. So basically, any integer value other than 0 corresponds to true condition only. So this is the property that we are using here also. So it says if minus 10 and double logical and 10. So it also says if true and true, then that means true. And then since it's an or operation, we don't need to check the second part of the expression, and we simply evaluate. We execute the statement that is defined in the if block, that is condition is true. So is it clear? So I hope I have explained the concept behind the Boolean operators and the if condition through this problem. So can anyone confirm? Is it clear? So or should I repeat this example again? Yeah. So I'm getting confirmation from you guys. Fine. So let's go ahead and solve the next problem. So yeah, it is equivalent to yeah. So let's go ahead and solve the next problem. So what is the output for the following problem? Yeah, this is question number 4 for the. And here what we are going to see is the first statement says hashtag include stdio.h. It's basically including the standard libraries present in the standard IO library. And then we have the int main function. We have declared a variable int I, which is so I is a variable that can hold values corresponding to data type integer. And then we have a statement, if and else statement, basically. So I have explained this in earlier sessions also. I will be going to explain this again. In C programming language, the scope of a conditional is by default one statement, one line after the conditional statement. So if something, then the next line is in the scope of if, and the lines after that are not in the scope of if. This goes same for the else statement also. So this printf programming on C is under the scope of the else statement, whereas printf have %d \n I is not under the scope of else statement. In order to make multiple lines under the scope of these, we can use blocks and that are declared using the parenthesis, the curly braces and C. So yeah, so here we can see the statement reads if I equals to 0, comma 2, comma 3. So before solving this problem, we need to understand the comma operator. What does this comma operator do? So let's go ahead and try to understand what does the comma operator do. So comma operator in C. So it's basically comma. So sir, here we are using assignment numbers over here. Yeah. So let's go ahead and solve this problem, and then I will be going through the queries raised by you. So let's go ahead and understand what does the comma operator does do in C. So it's denoted by the comma. So you all know that in there are the ways the operations are defined is operand one, then there is an operator in middle, and then operand two. So this is how operation is defined. And what does the comma operator does is basically it suppose we are defining a C line of an expression given by operand one comma operand two. Then this what C compiler does is the C. So let's use comments here. The C compiler ignores the evaluation of operand one and returns the value of evaluation of the operand 2. So in this case, basically what happens, the comma operator, uh, when the C compiler finds that there is a comma operator and the it has to be performed on the operands 1 and 2, the C compiler ignores the evaluation of operand 1 and simply returns the value of evaluation of the operand 2. So let's say this statement says if I equals to 0, comma 2, comma 3, let's go ahead and evaluate the condition in this if statement. So the expression is given as I equals to 0, comma 2, comma 3. So let's go ahead and solve this expression and let's see what it returns. So again, we start, so we have these three blocks separated by three operands, I equals to 0. So the first operand is I equals to 0. Then there is a comma operator, and then there is a 2 and then 3. So let me tell you here is that the comma operator has the highest precedence among every other operator in C. So basically the comma operator will be executed here. So we can see and it has the left associativity. So the operations will go like this. So first the I will be assigned the value of 0. So I basically contains the value of 0. I contains 0. Then what the operator will do, it will discard the operation evaluation of I equals to 0, and it will return 2, comma 3. So this will the output of the operation of the first comma operator. Then again, it will discard the evaluation of the first operand, that is 2, and it will simply return the value 3, return 3. So let's go ahead and see what happens here. It basically returns 3. So basically this becomes if 3. So if 3, as we have already seen in the previous example, if 3 corresponds to the true condition, so the statement under the scope of the if condition gets executed, that says printf NPTEL on the standard output, that is the screen. So it's basically prints NPTEL, and then the else part is not executed. Now here we can see then there is another a printf statement that prints the value of variable I. So here percentage d is specifying is a format specifier specifying that the output is of data type integer. So we are using percentage d to define that, and then we are changing the line. So basically what it's doing, it will print NPTEL followed by the value of I, and we know that I has been associated the value of 0. So basically the correct answer would be NPTEL 0, option B. So option B is the correct answer, NPTEL 0. So yeah. So this is how this problem will be solved. So I hope I have. So here, the student is asking, sir, if I equals to 230, then what will be the answer? So let's say if it was I equals to 2, 3, and 0. In that case also, I would have been assigned the value of 2, and then the this would have been ignored, this 2 and 3, and the if 0, then the condition would have been false, and it would have printed programming on C followed by the value of I, that is 2. So yeah, that would happen in case the order was that. So I hope I have answered this question for you guys. So are we clear? If you do you have any questions? Fine, I am not seeing any questions on the chat box, so I think it's safe to proceed with this answer. Fine. So let's go ahead and solve the. So Gaurav, I hope I have solved your problem. So it basically will assign the value of 2 to variable I. Then simply the first comma operator will ignore the value evaluation result of the evaluation I equals to 2. Then the second comma will ignore the value 3 and it will return value 0. And since if 0 is false, then the condition is false. Yeah. So let's go ahead and proceed with the next problem. So yeah, so what is the output of the C program given below? Hashtag stand stdio.h. It's again importing the standard libraries defined in the standard IO file library stdio, and then we are starting with the main function. And then we are declaring a variable x and giving a value, assigning a value of 0 to it. And then here we can see there is an unary operation plus plus. So it's a post-processing post-processing operator. So it simply means take the value of x and then update it. And what we have to do it basically increment the value of x. So basically x becomes x plus 1. So you will be studying about these operators in the next session, maybe in the next sessions for the next week. I haven't seen any I haven't seen any lecture on these operators, so you will be seeing this. For right now, what you have to understand is this: for this line, the x value is what x. Do not change any value of x. Do not change the value of x, and x equals to x plus 1 from the next line onwards. So this is what this statement means. So basically for this line, do not change the value of x, and the x becomes x plus 1 for the next from the next line onwards. So right now the value of x is 0. So its value will become 1, but after this line. So in this line, if 0, so basically if 0 is false, so the second statement begin. The control jumps to the next conditional, that is else if x equals to 1. And since after that line, the value of x has been incremented by 1. So basically at x becomes 0, 1, then this condition prints returns true. So basically, yeah, 1 equals to 1. So print this statement that says false. So the correct answer is option B. Solution is option B, that is false. So yeah, this is the correct answer. So I hope this answer is clear to you all. If it's not, you will be taught about this unary operators. So basically x plus plus says for this line, do not change the value of the value assigned to the variable x. From the next line onwards, the value of the variable x has to become 1. So incremented by 1. So it will be x equals to 1. Here, x has already been incremented to 1. So yeah, this condition is true. So this is true, and execute whatever is in the scope of this else if statement block. So it says printf false, and so it simply prints false. So Gaurav, have I explained the concept to you? Is it clear? If you have any doubts, please raise your just ask once more, so I will explain it again. So these are unary operators that you will be taught in the future lectures. So just for now, just know that x plus plus, what it does, it says that for this line, do not change the value of x, and x becomes x plus 1 from the next line onwards. So Gaurav, I hope I have resolved your query. Can we proceed? Fine. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's solve the next question. So the next question again asks what will be the output. So it says it includes the standard IO and then the main function is defined. So here we can see we have a here we have a declared a variable x. Uh, we are not giving any value to the variable x, and then we are using the equals to operator to assign some value to the x. So for and it requires some a mix of multiple operations here. So let's see, let's go ahead and solve this evaluation. So here what it says, x has to be given a value of that is result. Let me tell you guys, whenever equals to comes in an expression, it uses right associativity. So basically the expressions on the right hand side are evaluated first, and then the value that is as a result of the evaluation is assigned to the variable on the left hand side. So basically x will be assigned the value of the result of the evaluation of this particular operation at 10 equals to 20, not equals to 30. So this is how this operation will go on. So yeah, this is how this will happen. So any guesses for this problem? So I haven't tell you the associativity of double equals to and not equals to operator. So these are left associative. So basically double equals to and not equals to are left associative. So the operator on the left hand side executed first, and then the evaluation moves to the right. So let's go ahead and evaluate this statement. So 10 equals to 20, not equals to 30. Let's see what it returns. So basically it's left associative and they have the same precedence. So equal to will be executed first. So let's go ahead and use braces to see to add to say that this operation will be going on first, evaluated first. So then 10 equals to 20 returns 0 because it's false. And then we are doing integer arithmetic. So basically it says 0. So since it's false, and then 0 not equals to 30 returns 1. That is true. Yeah, 0 is not equals to 30. So the output is 1. So basically this evaluation returns 1. So x is assigned the value of 1 and we are printing the value of x. So correct answer is option B. Solution option B, that says 1. So this is the correct answer, option B. So no, 0 is not the correct answer and 30 is also not the correct answer. The correct answer is 1, that is option B. So yeah, let's proceed to the next question. So what is the output of the following C code? Let's see what it says. It's again imports the standard in IO library, all the functions provided by the standard IO library in C. And then what we do, we define the main function, and then we give declare a variable y and assign a value of 10 to it. Then we declare a variable z and assign the value y z equals to y plus y equals to 10, and we are using the brackets here. So basically brackets here means that it has the highest precedence, so we have to solve that operation first. So have denotes higher precedence than over other operators. So basically anything that is in the bracket, small brackets will be evaluated first and then the other operations will be done. So here what it says in the bracket, it's let's go ahead and copy this evaluation. So again, equals to will be the everything on the right hand side will be the on the right hand side of the equals to operator will be evaluated, and then the value will be assigned to the variable on the left hand side. So let's go ahead and see what this operation will return. So basically y plus y equals to 10. So the everything inside the brackets will be executed first, and we can see the y was assigned a value of 10. So y equals to 10 will return true, that is 1 for integer. So basically it becomes y plus 1. And finally, y is exactly equals to 10. This results in the value of 11. So yeah, the correct answer is option B, 11. So Z is assigned the value of 11, option B. Option B, that says 11. Yeah. So this was it for a few of the problems that I hope helped you guys to understand all the conditional and logical operators in C. So this is how we solve these problems. Anyone have any questions till this point? If not, we can start with the next question. Fine, I am not seeing any queries from you guys. So let's go ahead and start with the next question. So it's a very uh, uh, it's a very like tricky question. It says write a C program to print hello world without using semicolons. So from now I will using the Visual Studio Code editor and the GCC compiler to write code write to write code and execute it, and compile and run it on the. I have a Ubuntu system that is based on Linux. So basically, I have the GCC compiler inbuilt. If you are using Windows machines, you might be using MinGW to set up the GCC compiler. It's an alternative to the GCC. If you are using Unix or Linux systems, then you have the GCC by default. And and I'm basically using Linux, so I can execute these operations. So let's go ahead and open the VS Code. Week 3, let's go ahead and create a folder for week 3 and start up the VS Code editor. So everyone, can you confirm, is my screen visible? So can you see my editor window right now? So this is question number 8. So I will be solving this problem in this editor. So 8.c. So let's go ahead and increase the font. So everyone, I hope my editor screen is visible, and let's go ahead and start by including the standard IO library and then writing the main function. So here I'm using the void to determine that the main function returns nothing. And the problem is write us. So yeah, it's a comment. So write a C program to print hello world without using a semicolon. Yes. So you might have. I have seen in the lectures video also. You all have been taught about the semicolon operator. It's basically the terminator in C, and it's required at the end of every statement in C programming language. So if there is no terminator, then it will throw out an error. But the problem says we can't use this terminator to write a to print a hello world. So let's go ahead and write a program. So yeah, let's go ahead. So the answer to this is a very beautiful answer. So we will be using the if conditional to solve this problem. And we all know that the printf statement returns something. It's basically returns one if it returns one if the execution is correct. So basically what we are doing here is we are using this, and we are basically doing nothing. So here what we have written, is the text on my editor screen visible to you guys? So is the font size fine to you all? If it's not, kindly raise your hands. So I guess the editor is font size is fine. I mean, this is 1 byte. So yeah, we were given a problem where we had to write a C program that prints hello world without using a semicolon. That is the terminator in C. It is required to terminate every statement in C programming language. If you are not using it, it will throw the compiler will throw an error. And the constraint is we can't use it. So we can see what we have done here. We are basically using a void statement that says the function returns nothing. So we don't need the return statement here. And then we are using the if statement. And inside the if, we are using the printf statement to print something out the display screen. And then we are doing nothing inside the if block. So we are actually not terminating any statement here. So basically, we don't need the semicolon in this program. And so let's go ahead and compile and see the output of our program. So I'll be using GCC 8.c. So it creates the file a.out, and let's go ahead and execute it. Let's see, you can see it's printing hello world. So yeah, you can see we have successfully created a program that basically does not use a semicolon, that is the terminator, and it prints the value hello world on the screen. So here what we have used a conditional statement if, and inside it we are passing in the value returned by the function printf, and then we are doing nothing in the if statement, if block, and we are simply printing the value hello world. So this is how this program done, and let's go ahead and copy the results here. So just the text. So yeah, this is how the program looks like that. So let me go ahead and solution. So this is the program that basically prints hello world without using the terminator. So yeah, there is some question. So let me clear one doubt. So someone is asking, is there any and equals to operator? There is no and equals to operator. Even we can check it. So basically, let's say 1 and equals to 2. Let's see what the compiler tells us. So there is no and equals to. Fine. So, sir, so there is a question that says, sir, we have provide only the condition. So how the compiler prints it? So basically what it is doing, what the if statement is doing basically here is what if says if condition, and the condition is evaluate, the order of evaluation goes like this. Order of evaluation is like this. So at first, the condition is evaluated, and then the condition is checked. The value of condition is checked by the if statement. So here, the condition was printf hello world. So basically, the compiler was currently first it was evaluating the value returned by the printf statement hello world, and then that condition is being checked. So basically printf has been evaluated first. So that's why the value hello world has been printed before it was being taken by the if statement. So am I clear right now, Gaurav? So basically everything inside the condition block of the if statement is evaluated first. Then the condition is being checked. So that's why printf function has been called first, and it returns something, and that is being checked by the if statement. So Gaurav, I hope I have answered your question. Do you have any question, or can we proceed? So I'm not getting any response from you. I guess I hope I have solved your problem. So let's go ahead with the next problem. So am I audible? Is my screen visible? I'm not seeing any responses from you guys. Yeah, fine. So Gaurav has responded. So yeah, let's go ahead and see another problem. So what will be the output of the following program Again, it starts with the include statement that includes all the libraries in the standard IO file library, and then main function is defined. So let me go ahead and do some formatting here. So yeah, initially we are declaring variables int a equals to 0, b equals to 10, and then we are checking if a equals to 0, printf true, else printf false, and then return 0. So basically a is 0. So what do you guys think? So basically here what it says, a has the value 0 and b and b has the value 10. So let's go ahead and see what this operation does. So basically in the if statement, we can see if a equals to 0. So before solving this problem, I want to tell you guys what the equals to operator actually does. Solution. So basically, let's see what is the behavior of I guess. So so there was a interruption in the meeting. So I was getting a call. Apologies for that. So I'm starting again with this problem. So I hope I'm audible and my screen is also visible. So the problem says what will be the output of the following program? And it says in the first line on the main function, it says int a equals to 0, b equals to 10. It says that a has been a variable a has been declared as a integral data type and it has the value of 0, and b has been declared with the integer data type and it has the value of 10. The next line says if a equals to 0. So we have seen in the previous example also, the condition block is evaluated first before any other operation. So basically, if does not do any operation before the condition has been evaluated. So basically, the operation a equals to 2 will be evaluated first. So let's go ahead and see what is the behavior of equals to operator. So it is the assignment operator later in C, and it returns the value that is being it returns the value that is being it returns the value that is being assigned to the variable on the left. So a equals to 10 returns 10. That is why we can use multiple assignments in a single statement. So int a equals to 10. So basically a equals to b equals to 10 result means b is assigned the value 10 and 10 is returned, and this value is again assigned to the variable a. So this is how this operator works. So basically equals to operator returns the value that is being assigned. So yeah, so basically the result of a equals to b equals to 10 will say that b is 10 and a is also 10. So in this statement, equals to is not equals to operator. So it's not checking whether a is 0 or not. It's simply assigning the value of 0 to a and returning it to the as a result of condition. So basically if 0, this means if 0. And the result of if 0 is false, so everything in the if block will not be executed. Or here we can see we are actually using the braces to define the scope of the if statement. Then the control jumps to the else statement, and everything inside the else block will be executed with prints false. So basically the answer will be false. It will simply prints false. So am I clear, everyone? So we can go ahead and write this code, run this code, and see what's the behavior. Return 0. So GCC 9.c. Okay, so yeah, there is some. So let me correct the code and let's see the output. So let's go ahead and execute this problem. And it prints false. So every one of you can see that it prints false. So this is how this operation works. So the correct answer is false. So I have solved. So am I audible? I hope this problem is clear to you guys. So I hope by now you are able to understand what does the equals to operator does and how it returns the values. Fine, everyone. Does anyone of you has any question? So kindly type in the chat box so that I can confirm and proceed with the next problem. So I'm not getting any responses. Am I audible? Is my screen visible? Anyone, please respond. Yeah, fine. I have gotten response. So maybe let's take a break for 2 to 3 minutes, and then we will start with the next question. So for this second half of this session, what we are going to do in this half an hours, we'll be solving few of the C programming problems as we did in the previous session also. So and then we will address miscellaneous questions from you guys. So let before starting the break, I will be considering one of the problems from the studio, taking one of the problems from the students. It says, sir, why you are taking a equals to 10? In which question you are saying? So yeah, in this, so here you are saying a equals to 10. Why it is a equals to 10? So basically what I told you guys is equals to returns the value that is being assigned. So basically the result of the operation a equals to 10 will return 10. So in this statement, the evaluation goes from right. So basically equals to operator, the assignment operator has the right associativity. So there are two equal to operators in the same statement, a equals to b equals to 10, and it uses right associativity. So basically the statement on the right will be executed first, that will assign the value of 10 to b, and it will return 10. So the statement will, the operation will become a equals to 10. So that's why a is getting the value of 10. So have I answered your question? I hope the behavior of equals to operator is clear to you guys by now. So any question? So I guess I have answered this question for you guys. So let's take a break for 2 minutes, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. So I'll be resuming. So it's currently, let me see, what's the time? 7:04. So I'll be resuming at 7:07 maybe after 3 minutes. Yeah. So hi everyone, welcome back. So let's resume from here. So everyone just quickly confirm that my screen and my audio are visible and clear to you all. Anyone? Just please confirm so that we can proceed. Yeah, fine. So I'm getting confirmation. So let's go ahead and with the problem 10. What will be the output of the following program? So again, by now I hope you guys are familiar with this hashtag include statement and INT main why it's there. So I will be ignoring these statements from the problems that we'll be considering from now onwards. Yeah. So let's go ahead directly into the main function. We are declaring three variables from the data type integer int, and these variables have the names x, y, and z. Now what we are doing, x equals to y equals to z equals to 10, and then we are printing their respective values. So in the previous example also, we saw that the behavior of the equals to operator. So right by now, you might be able to solve this problem. So what will the output of this problem? Anyone can just say, just type in the text box. So it's simply x equals to y equals to z equals to 10. So and it prints the value of x, y, and z. So yeah. So the it is printing three values, x equals to y equals to z equals to. So the solution would look like this. Answer the screen will show x equals to 10, comma y equals to 10, comma z equals to 10. So this will be printed on the screen. So this is what this program will do. So let's go ahead and look at the other problems. So from now we have some programming questions in which we will be writing some actual code to solve these problems. So the first problem says, write a C program to accept two integers and check whether they are equal or not. So basically the input will look like two integers, uh, 10, comma 10, 20. The output would say if they are equal or not. In this case, no, they are not equal. So for another input, say 10, 10, the output would be yes, they are equal. So this is what we expect the program to print. So it basically inputs two values, two integral values from the user, and then it prints either true or false based on those conditions. So let's go ahead and solve this problem. So I will be opening up my IDE again and I'm writing this problem. So let's include the standard IO for input output. Then declare the main function. So by now you guys know that I can also use the return type void, simply not return in the problem main function. And what we have to do? Apologies, I have some call. So yeah, I was so let's go ahead and restart from this here only. So I was having some call from someone. So I have my screen is visible and I am audible. Fine. So let's go ahead and solve this problem. So I'm not getting any confirmation, but I hope my screen is visible. The problem says the input is to be, so we have to input two integers from the user, and the standard input is from the keyboard. So we will be using scanf statement for this scanf. So let's go ahead and just declare two integers, int x, comma y. Then we'll be taking input from the user. So basically we are using, let's give some prompt to the user, printer. Kindly enter two integers. And then we are taking the values. So basically we are taking integral values. So it will be %d. And then in the we will taking these values and storing in the memory location of the of the variables x and y. So we are using the ampersand operator, It basically returns the address of that variable. So yeah, so now we have two variables. Now what we have to do, check if the two values, if their values are equal. So if, so now we are using the if, and then is my screen visible? Oh, so someone is saying you can't see the screen. Is the screen visible right now? So let me see what's the issue. So is my screen visible to every one of you? Let me reshare the screen. So now I hope my screen is visible. Fine, let's start. So we have to check whether their values are equal. So we will be using the double equals to operator. So we'll see if x equals to y, it returns true. If x equals to y, so we have to basically print that yes, the values are equal. Else, what we are going to do, we are printing no, the values are not equal. So yeah, this is how the program would look like, and let's go ahead and execute it. So GCC. So we have to enter two integers. Let's say we enter 10 followed by 20. It says no, the values are not equal. Again, we enter 10 and 10. It says yes, the values are equal. So yeah, this is how the program would look like. Let's go ahead and copy the output, the code here. So yeah, this is how this problem will be solved. So does anyone have any questions? Anyone have any questions? So yeah, I was a bit interrupted. So let's, yeah. So we have solved this problem where we accept two integers and check whether they are equal or not. So this is how the program would look like. I hope I am audible and my screen is visible to you all. So let's go ahead and solve the next problem. Write a C program to read the age of the candidate and determine whether he is eligible to cast. He or she is eligible to cast his or her own vote. So what would be the logic for this problem? The, someone is saying no, sir. Is my screen visible and am I audible and my video is also visible to you guys? Yeah, fine. Let's proceed. So we have to write a C program that takes in the age of candidate from the user and determines whether he or she is eligible to cast his or her own vote. So the logic behind this is a user is eligible to cast vote if their age is greater than 18. So basically, if you are 19 and above, you are eligible to cast vote, otherwise not. So this is the logic. So we'll be proceeding with the solution to this problem. So someone is saying screen it not share. Anyone can you confirm? Because I can see my screen is shared here. So any one of you please confirm that is my screen. So Satyan, my screen is visible, no? Fine. So Shreya, can you confirm again? Can you check again? Maybe refresh or maybe rejoin the meeting and Just tell me if my screen is visible or not. So I hope my screen is visible to you all guys. So let's go ahead and solve this problem. So we have to basically take in the age of a candidate and say whether they can vote or not. The logic is that a user is eligible to cast a vote if their age is greater than 18. So someone is raising their hands. Kindly type your query in the chat box so that I can answer it there. So I won't be able to allow you guys to speak here, but you can type in your queries in the text chat box itself. So yeah. So I hope the logic is simple. User is eligible to cast the vote if their age is greater than 18. So let's go ahead and write this program. So it's a very basic program that uses the if conditions. So it's basically problem C. Let's go ahead and include the standard libraries and then use void and define the main function and then go ahead and write the problem. So a program, basically, sorry, a program that reads the age of a candidate and tells whether they are eligible, whether they are eligible to vote, to cast a vote or not. So let's go and solve this problem. So first we have to declare a variable age that will be storing the age of the candidate, and we can print the prompt to the user. Kindly enter your age. So now we can take in the read the values in the scanf function. So in the scanf, we are basically first defining the preprocessor the format specifier, that is we are taking integer. Then we pass the address to the variable in which the value is going to be stored, that is age, and we use the ampersand operator to point it, direct the compiler to its address. So now what we have to do, we have to check if the age is greater than 18, then the candidate is eligible. So basically, if age is greater than equals to 18, then we have to simply print if you we can give a prompt like you are eligible to cast a vote. Otherwise, we will say you are not eligible. You are not eligible to cast a vote. So this is how this program will look like. So basically what we are doing, we are using taking an input from the user, their age, and then identify whether they can cast a vote or not. Let's go ahead and print the output and see what it says. So we compile the GCC 12.c and then run, then execute it. So I have to enter my age. So my age is 25. So I'll be entering 25. So you can see it's saying you are eligible to cast a vote. So let's go ahead and see what if a student or that who of age 17 types in 17, what it says. It says you are not eligible to cast a vote. So yeah, this is how the program would look like for this. So here we are using the if condition to check whether the student can cast a vote on. So I hope this problem is clear. This solution is clear to you guys. So if you have any doubts, kindly raise your hands. Kindly ask in the chat box so that I can clear them out. So do you have any questions? Anyone? Can you confirm? Should we proceed? So anyone has any questions? If not, then we can proceed. Is my am I audible? Is my screen clear to you guys? Can you see the desktop? Yeah, fine. So Aryan is saying yeah, screen is visible. So let's proceed with the next problem. Write a C program whether a given year is leap year or not. So so what will be the input to this problem? So the input would be year. So and the output would be leap or not a leap year. So what will be the logic behind? Let's go ahead and solve this problem. So the logic is a year is a leap year if it is divisible by 4. That's it. Otherwise, it is not a leap year. So can anyone say if this logic is correct? Yeah, am I missing something here? Anyone on the chat box, can you tell me if this logic is correct? So let's say the year 2024. So it is divisible by 4. So basically, when you divide it by 4, the remainder is 0. So basically, yeah, 2024 is a leap year. So someone is saying, yeah, the logic is correct. Is divisible by 400. So someone is saying year divisible by 400 is also a leap year. Then what happens when you divide 2024 by 400? What should be the output? It will result in. So what is 2024 modulo 400? So it's basically so for 2024 modulo 400 is not equals to 0, but still 2024 is a leap year. So you guys might know this because this is the current year itself. So this logic is not correct that it should be divisible by 4 and 400 also. Another example we can see, what about the year 1900? It was not a leap year, but 1900 modulo 4 is all 0. So the logic is incorrect here also. So let me give you a correct logic. So a year is a leap year. Then there are two conditions. If it is not a century year and it is divisible by 4, or if it is a century year and divisible by 400. Otherwise, it is not a leap year. So now this is the correct logic. If a year is a leap year, if it is not a century year and it is divisible by 4, or so basically here is an AND operation followed by an OR operation. So either of these two can be true. So if it is a leap, not a century year, so yeah, let's write it like this. If it is not a century year and is divisible by 4, then it's a leap year. Otherwise, the next condition is, the other condition is, if it is a century year, then it must be divisible by 400. So you can apply this logic to 2024 and 1900 both. So 1900 modulo 1900 modulo 400 is not 0. Basically, it's not equals to 0. Thus, 1900 was not a leap year. So yeah, this logic is correct. So I hope every one of you understood this logic. So let's go ahead and write this problem, write this program. So it will be 13.c. So let's include the standard IO library, std IO, then void main. So let's declare a variable that will take in the year as input, and let's tell the user kindly enter the year, and then we will use the scanf statement to take in the value of the year. So basically we'll use the format specifier %g that we are going to take in the value of integer value, and then we specify the address of the variable year using the ampersand operator. So now we have taken the value of year from the user input from the keyboard. Now we have two conditions. If so, let's go ahead and check if it is a century year. So what would be the condition for a century year? So basically it must be divisible by 100. So if a year is divisible by 100, it's a century year. So basically if year modulo 100 equals to 0, then it's a century year. Then what we have to do? We have to simply check if year modulo 400 equals to 0, then it is a so maybe we can print in the year value is a leap year. So this is how the program logic will look like when we are trying to print in the value of the year. So basically, yeah. So if it is a century year, that is, it is divisible by 100, then the modulo operator will return the remainder 0. And it is divisible by 400, then it is a leap year. So here you can see we are using an if statement inside the if statement. So this is called nesting. It's a property that we use in C in programming languages. So we can use multiple conditions using nested statement. So basically we are using nested if here. So we are basically using an if condition inside the if. So now what happens if it's not divisible by 400 and is a century year? Then it's not a leap year. So basically what we have to we have to simply go ahead and print in the value is not a leap year. So yeah, that's it. So if it is a century year and more divisible by 400, then it is a leap year. If it's not a if it is not a century year, then it means it is not a century year. Then what we have to do? We have to simply check if it's divisible by 4, and that will suffice it. So let's go ahead and write that condition. Else, if again we are using nested if, and if year modulo 4 is equals to 0, then it is a leap year. And if it's not, then it's not a leap year. So let's go ahead and type in this. So we can use nested structures inside the else blocks also. So basically inside if we can see an if and else block here. So it's a nested if. Again, inside the else block, we can see another else if statement. So it's not a leap year. So yeah, this is how the program would look like. Let's go ahead and execute it and let's see what's the output. So let's enter the year 2024. So it is a leap year. So let's see what the program says for the year 1900. So it is not a leap year. So again, let's see what was the year 2000 was. 2000 was a leap year. So yeah, this program is correct and it's doing giving the correct output. So let's go ahead and copy the output here, the program here. So I hope the logic is clear to you all and how we are using the nested if statements here. So yeah, so first, so some of you guys are saying, can we write this problem without using the nested if structure? So I think we may write it. So it was this only if it's not a century year. So first check if it's not a century year and is divisible by 4. So basically modulo 4, modulo 100 and it's divisible modulo 4 equals to 0. Or and then use an or operator, it will do the same task. So let's see if we can do this. First, let me ask you guys, is the logic clear to you all? Can you confirm that you are familiar now? We will be able to write nested if statements here, nested if statements. Can you be able to solve complex problems using nested if? Everyone, can you confirm? Anyone? So yes, some of you are saying that you can't. So basically nested if is something like this. So let me write it here. Let me explain you guys about the concept of nested conditions. Nested conditionals. So basically what it does, if some condition, and then within that if there is another if condition, it again checks for some condition, another condition, then do something or there. So this is called nesting. This is what nested. So this is how nesting is used. So you can use if inside and if. So this is what nesting means. So I hope this program helps you out. If it does not, kindly after this session, go ahead and try to solve this problem on your own. I will all be sharing this code file with you also. You can use it and try to solve if it works. So let's try to solve this problem without using the nested if structure. So what we will checking, if year modulo 100 equals to 0, then it means it's a century year. Then it means year modulo 400 should be 0. So then it is a leap year. So this is the condition for a leap year, or so let's go ahead, year modulo 100 not equals to 0. So basically it's not a century year, and year modulo 4 equals to 0. So let me go ahead and if this happens, then we have to simply print f E is a leap year. Else we will simply print is not a leap year. So I guess this problem solves your queries. So basically what we are doing, we are checking, we are not using nested if, we are basically checking the conditions manually. So there are two conditions. If mod year is a century year and it is more divisible by 400, then it is a leap year. Or if the year is not a century year and it is divisible by 4, then it is a leap year. So let's go ahead and execute this problem and see what it gives us. So let's go ahead and there's a warning. Oh yeah, we are not actually. So let's go ahead. So it was giving a warning that int the format specifier expects some integer value, and I had not put it there. So I have corrected this error, and it will not give this warning again. So let's go ahead and execute the problem. So again, we will be entering 2024. It is a leap year. Then 2000. It is a leap year. Then 1900. It is not a leap year. So the problem is the solution is correct. So I hope this answers your queries. So it's approximately 7:35. So do you guys have any questions that we can discuss during this session regarding the topics that are covered? So basically the topics for this session were, so I'm going to iterate the topics for this session. They were first operate basically assignment operators in C. So yeah, let me go ahead and open the document that I have regarding this also. So yeah, these were the topics that we covered during this session. So basically, assignment statement and operators in C. We saw what the equals to operator does. It's basically the assignment operator, and it returns the value that is being assigned. And we saw what terminator is, basically the semicolon symbol. So it's a token. In C, in the programming languages, these individual alphabets are known as tokens. So basically, every variable name is a token, the every operator is a token, then the terminator, that is the semicolon, is also a token. So we saw what the terminator is, and we also see a very interesting example where we printed hello world on the screen onto the display without using the terminator. So yeah, then what we saw, so what we saw, how the variable assignment operator works exactly, it basically returns the value of the evaluation of the expression. Equals to operator is right associative. So if there are two equals to operators in a statement in a same expression, the expression on the right hand side will be evaluated. Operation on the right hand side will be evaluated first. Then the left hand side is the variable where the value computed on the right hand side is stored. Values can be assigned during declaration also. So basically, if you are declaring a variable x, so you can say int x goes to 20. Several variables can be assigned to the same value using multiple assignment operators. So it basically uses the right associativity. So here C gets the value of file that is returned to the B assigned to the B variable, and then lastly to the variable A. Then the second things we saw arithmetic, relational, and logical operators. So basically, arithmetic operators are plus, minus, division, multiplication, and modulo. The precedence goes like this. So, so that first the parenthesis has the highest precedence, then unary minus, then multiply, divide, and modulo, then plus minus, then relational operators, and in turn the lastly the comma operator, it returns the last value. So the comma operator has the least precedence. So I might correct myself. So initially during the previous problems I told you guys that comma has the highest precedence, but no, it was incorrect. Comma has the least precedence, and it returns the last value, the value on the right hand side, the right operand. Then we saw the operation using the integer value. So integer arithmetic is when the operands are in an arithmetic expression on integer, then integer arithmetic is executed. Whereas when the operands are real, then real arithmetic is done. So for example, if 25 by 20, you can see the operator is 10, and both on the operands are 25 and 10, which both of them are real integral values. So it will return the quotient. So basically it's doing integral arithmetic, whereas any one of the operator is real, that is 10.0, it does the real evaluation, that is returns the actual value of the actual results of the division, that is 2.5. During the value assignment, the data type on the RHS should be equals to data on the RHS. Otherwise, the compiler may get confused. So suppose if you are assigning some value to a variable, so say X, and it has a data type int, then you should always adhere to the rule that you are going to assign the value to integral value to this. Otherwise, the compiler may or may not be able to catch the error. So it might introduce bugs in larger software programs. So do not try to use assignments like this. Although the compiler might not give an error for this assignment, but you should avoid this. Then there is some typecasting. So here we are doing explicit typecasting. We are basically casting the type from float to the integer. So this topic you have been taught in the lectures also. Then there are relational operators that are used to compare two quantities that we have seen in previous sessions also. So someone is asking what is the precedence of the relational operator. So they come after the arithmetic operators. So yeah. Then there are logical operators or logical connectives. So these are basically logical and, that is denoted by double ampersand. Then logical or, that is denoted by double bars, vertical bars, and then not. Not is denoted by this exclamation mark. So basically not tells that no, the condition should not be true. For example, 10 is not equals to 20. That returns true because 10 is actually not equals to 20. So yeah. So let's go ahead, and then finally you might have learned about the. So yeah, all the relational operator have the same precedence. I mean, yeah, we can go ahead and look. So I'm not sure about that also. Precedence of the relational operators in C. So let's go ahead and see what it says. So the relation operators have the same precedence, but the associativity is left to right. So basically, the left statement operation is executed first. So yeah. So someone is saying, can you repeat where comma operator is used? So yeah, comma, we saw an example where we were using comma operator. So let's go ahead and see. Where was it? So this is the problem program where we use the comma operator. So basically, if I equals to 0, comma 2, comma 3. So basically, what it does, it suppose there are two operands, operand 1, comma operand 2. The C compiler ignores the evaluation of operand one. So basically, comma operator has the least precedence. So basically, what it does, it evaluates operand one and then ignore its value, ignore its values, and finally returns the value of evaluation of the operand 2. So in this case, what it does is first assigns the value of 0 to the variable I, then ignores this evaluation at all. Then you get 2 comma 3. Again, it ignores the value 2, and finally it returns 3. So that's why this if 3 becomes if true. So Haripriya, did I answer your question or should I repeat it again? So can you confirm? Okay, fine. So this is about the comma operator. So let's go ahead, and then we saw the input-output statement. So I have explained this statement in the previous sessions also. The printf perform output the standard output device, that is by default the display. Then it requires the format string text to be printed out using the specifications on how to print the values, that is using the format specifiers or string values. And then the scanf performs input from the standard input device, and the standard input device by default is the user keyboard. And it also requires the format string similar to printf, but it uses, but it requires the address of the variable in which the value has to be stored. So someone is saying, can you please repeat where binary comma operator is used? So basically, I have shown an example in which the comma operator was there. And here what we were doing, we were exactly trying to understand what it does. So you may use in examples that require such operations. Suppose you wanted to assign few values. Suppose there was another variable j here, and you wanted to say like, I want to assign them and then use a condition here. So suppose there was a bool condition. Let me correct this. Bool condition equals to maybe true. And then, so what I wanted to do is, suppose I wanted to initialize the values of I to 1, 0 to j to 2, and at the same time check the condition in the if block. Then it might have been useful. I haven't seen any like day-to-day uses for this, but yeah, it is something that you should know, that what does the comma operator do. Fine. No. Comma operator has the lowest precedence. So I need to correct myself. Initially, I said that comma operator has the highest precedence, but no, comma operator has the least precedence. Fine. Okay. So now, lastly, we saw the logical operators. They are used for branching programs and looping, allow different set of instructions to be executed depending on depending upon the results outcome of a logical test. So basically, we specify the conditions using the relational operator. So maybe if a is greater than 10 or less than 10, these are sort of the relational operators. So we specify the conditions using the relational operators. Then we use the logical operators to connect those conditions. And then we use the if statement to check if the condition is true. And we also saw an example that used nested if structure. So this was it for this session. These were the topics that we covered. So I have few more questions that I can give you guys for practice. If you have any more questions related to these topics, kindly ask in the chat box so that I can answer them all. If you don't, I can go ahead and solve another problem for you guys. But yeah, first I want to solve all the problems given by you guys. So yeah, someone of you have entered a problem on that utilizes for loop. So I would not like to answer that question because for loop has not been covered in the classes in the NPTEL course lecture. So other students might get confused. So I would not take that problem right now. So any other questions from that, apart from that? Someone is asking for my Instagram ID, so I don't know why do you need it for. What's the use for Insta? You might have been asked for my like course webpage or my profile on LinkedIn, but I don't know what's the usage of Insta here. So I might prefer, I would not like to share my Insta ID here. So yeah, sorry for that. Any other questions? So I guess you guys have, let me check. Someone has their hands raised. Let's see if someone. Ashwani Kumar, do you have any questions? So I am just lowering your hand and let me ask. So do you have any question, Ashwini? I think there is no question from their side also. So Haripriya Singh, sir, can you please show the leap year program again? So let's go ahead and so let me do one thing. Let me copy this program into a new file, then reset everything. So this was the program that we wrote using nested if else structure for checking whether a program is leap year or not. So the logic behind this is if it is a century year, then it should be divisible by 400. So if it is not a century year, the year should be divisible by 4 to be a leap year. Fine. So here what we are doing in the first statement, outer block of the if statement, we are checking if the year is divisible by 100. That means if it is a century year. If it is a century year, then we go to the inner if test nested if statement that says if year modulo 400 equals to 0, then it is a leap year. So that matches our logic, else it's not a leap year. If the year is not a century year, that is, it's not divisible by 100, then what we have to do? We have to check if it's divisible by 4. And if it's divisible by 4, it's a leap year, else it's not a leap year. So this is how this program nested if structure goes like. So I hope this I clarified your doubts. So Haripriya, can you confirm? But why 400 if it's a century year? So yeah, there's a mathematical logic behind that also. You can go ahead and look on the internet why do we need to check for 400 divisibility by 400 for century years for them to be a leap year. So yeah, you can go ahead and look out for that. Yeah. So any other questions? Someone is saying practice problems. So yeah, I will be sharing these problems. You will be getting this in the PDF document along with the videos that will be shared to you guys. So any other questions? You can also ask questions from the topics that were covered in the previous sessions also. So feel free to ask any more questions. So yeah, sorry, I was interrupted again. So am I audible? Do you have any more questions? Just raise your hands and ask. So I guess there are no further questions. So maybe I can solve another problem for you guys. So I was going to give them for as homework for you, but I guess we might have 8 more minutes. So I may solve this problem for you. So am I audible? Is my screen visible? Can anyone confirm if I am audible because I'm not getting any responses from you guys? Okay, fine. So let's go ahead and solve another problem. It says write a C program that accepts a coordinate point in an XY coordinate system and determine in which coordinate does the coordinate point lies. So let's go ahead and see how to solve this problem. So the input would be the X and Y coordinates. So maybe X space Y. The output should be it lies in any of the quadrants, say nth quadrant. Fine. So you all are familiar with the coordinate systems in Cartesian plane. So let me draw it here for you guys. What is happening here? It's not giving me the option to draw something. So let me use a picture of a Cartesian plane. So let's go to Wikipedia. So yeah, this is an image of a Cartesian plane. So you can see it contains two axes. The horizontal axis is the x-axis, the vertical axis is the y-axis. On the right hand side, the horizontal axis says positive values. On the top, it says on the vertical axis, it says positive. If at the center it's the origin, that corresponds to the coordinate 0, 0. So there are four coordinates defined here. The coordinate 1, for which both the x and y have positive values, the x and y coordinates are positive. If the coordinate is negative and y coordinate is positive, then the point lies in the second quadrant. If the x coordinate is negative and the y coordinate is also negative, then the point lies in the third quadrant. And if the x coordinate is positive and the y coordinate is negative, then the point lies in the fourth quadrant. So I hope you guys are familiar with this. So let's go ahead and write the solution for this. So the logic goes like this. If x is greater than 0 and y is greater than 0, then it means first. If x is less than 0 and y is greater than 0, then means second quadrant. If x is less than 0 and y is less than 0, then it is third quadrant. If x is greater than 0 and y is less than 0, then it is fourth quadrant. So let's say what happens if x equals to 0 and y equals to 0. So 0 and y equals to 0. That means the point is at the origin. So it's additional case for our problem. So let's go ahead and solve this problem. I hope the logic is clear to you all. Fine. So let's go and proceed and solve this problem. So it will be 14.c. So let's include the standard IO and the main. So here we are using the return statement. So let's go ahead and define the x and y variables that will be storing the coordinate values, and then we printf enter the x and y coordinate values separated by a space \n, and then yeah. So let's go ahead and scan the inputs into the variables x and y. X and y, ampersand x and ampersand y. Now we will simply check if x is less than 0 and y is also less than 0, then it lies in the point is in the first quadrant \n. So yeah, let's go ahead and write the condition for other statements also. Here we are using else if statements. Else if x is x is greater than 0 and y is greater than 0. Else if x is less than 0 and y is greater than 0, this implies the point is in the second quadrant. Else if x is less than 0 and y is less than 0, the point is in third quadrant. Else if x is less than greater than 0 and y is less than 0. The point is in the fourth quadrant. Else, finally, if x equals to 0 and y equals to 0, the point is at the origin, basically. So this is how the program would look like. Let's go ahead and compile and execute it. So let's check whether where is 1 comma 2 lies. It's in the first quadrant. What about 1 comma minus 3? It lies in the fourth quadrant. What about minus 1 comma 2? It's in the second quadrant. Again, we can see minus 1 comma minus 2. It's in the third quadrant. And finally, we can check for the origin. The point is at the origin. So this is how this program would look like. So I hope you are able to understand these logic and you will be write this code on your own. So someone is saying we don't need the last condition, just else. Yeah, we don't need the last conditions because they can be either positive, negative, or 0. But still, I have put it here explicitly to just make sure to tell you and to make you guys understand that there is another condition also. So yeah, we don't actually need the else condition here. So do you guys have any other questions? Because we might need to end the session right now. So someone is saying if we use x equals to 0 and y equals to 0, so basically x equals to 0 will return 0 and y equals to 0 will also return 0. The condition will be false and the else if part will not execute. So equals to is the assignment operator. It's not the relational operator that checks whether x and y have the value 0. So make sure you are using the correct operators. Fine. Satyendra, I hope I answered your question. So yeah, this was the last question that I will be considering for this session. After this, I have a few more questions that you guys can try out on your own for practice. So that's it for today's session. So this was Rupesh Kumar, and I was presenting some problems and helping you guys to understand the solution to those problems for the course problem solving through programming in C. So this session happens every week from Saturday. I mean, Friday, 6 to 8. The course code is NOC 24 CS 42. So someone is asking in else if ladder syntax is for the last one is else. I don't know if I get the question. So yeah, last one is else. Yeah, basically, yeah, you can use last else at the last. So yeah, let's stop this session. So see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed this session.